fusion.
Recording in progress.
Yes, there is always a recording in progress in my life. Always a song in process and a recording in progress. The second CD I did produce here in Philly at Orem Studios in Mania.
Shout outs.
And this one was Time and Space. And it's just been really, really fun. There's a lot of collabs on this one as well.
I'm loving that outfit. Yo, turn around so they can see the bag.
Oh yeah.
This outfit is everything.
This is Ivy Glass Couture. Ivy has now pivoted to being a yoga wellness maven in LA, but who knows, maybe she might come back around to design.
I need that outfit.
Yeah, I really love to represent local designers, and I feel like I'm always wearing something by somebody.
Yo, every time I see her, she is sharp, yo. Like the outfits be put together, she be looking extra cute, and she does represent like local businesses. She will give shout outs and props. That's one thing I love about her. Like when I saw her, I asked her to be on the show. Like I made the flyer like this, and she was like, boom, 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 boom. Sadior Radio, boom, boom, boom. I was like, yes, sis. I love it. I love that energy. That is awesome. So 2 albums.
And then I have a bunch of appearances on different albums, like Walnut, who's a hip hop poet based in Boston. He's also on my second album on the track 1+1.
Oh, I like that one too.
And that's strong, right? It's different.
Yeah.
It's more like anthem, ambient.
Right. Y'all gotta download. Where can they stream or download this album?
I'm on everywhere. I'm on Spotify. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Bandcamp for DIY people. I know prefer Bandcamp, and if you're gonna purchase something, purchase it on Bandcamp. The artist gets more, right? We don't get anything from streaming. You can find me on Instagram Reels. You can put my music on your Reels.
Hey.
Okay, I hooked that up actually with the help of a little troubleshooting on a Facebook engineer group earlier this year. I was like, how do you get your DIY? Go to my Instagram, which is Gretchen Elise Music, and there's actually a post about this because I was so hyped when I figured out with the help of an engineer actually in Brooklyn, Ryan Max, I think his name is Max Dollar. He helped me figure out how to get DIY stuff that was released prior to Instagram Reels invention. Basically, I think it was like 2018 or something. Anything you release, it might be on Spotify, but nobody can get to it on Reels, so you can't hype up your own music. You have to mix an iMovie. Sorry, this is like music production stuff here for the music nerds.
Teach them, sis.
The music nerds out there. But there's a process. It's not too hard. You can get your stuff on. So my new tune, which I'm sure we'll be talking about, released today.
Thank you.
Is already on Instagram Reels.
Yes.
So 2 CDs. I'm on Walnuts. Shout out The Authentic, based in Camden. He's a North Philly Camden artist. I'm doing some background on a bunch of his singles.
Awesome.
And I'm on a Brazilian CD. João Marcos. That's my first recording way back.
Oh wow.
That music is called MPB, Música Popular de Brasil. It's like somewhere between pop and you know, it's kind of a fusion.
I love fusion. I'm telling you, like I feel like that's where we're going musically. Like the city, especially Philly, is a melting pot. New York, it's a melting pot of different religions, different cultures, different music, and like finding a way to blend it together is always beautiful and something unique that nobody can take. Like that Love Soldier, I love that song. And I'm like, I hear reggaeton, I hear the reggae beat. I'm like, okay, I'm in a house like that.
Yeah,
with the hits going. I'm like, okay, Gretchen.
It's funny actually driving to Cheltenham from West Philly just now, because I spent a lot of time when I moved back to Philly at this open jam session with the Killin' Live band, led by Orrin Evans, who now is Grammy nominated, if not Grammy winning, NAACP Image Award winner, and so on, jazz pianist from Northwest Philly. And he led a jam at Rubens Mark. Right when I moved back to Philly, I was literally pregnant with my first child, Sonia. And I would go to this jam, and it was literally like the litmus test of, okay, is Philly gonna, accept me at this point? Grew up in Delco, moved away, moved around, moved overseas, had lots of different experiences, came back to Philly. And I had my band at Love Park to do a little, my Boston band. We were recording, even though I was living here already. And then I brought half of them to that session at Rubens Mark. And right before I went on, recently I wrote about this on Facebook or someplace. Right before I went on, Oren, who is a seasoned musician, at that time was like 30 something, basically gets up and is like, if you don't know what you're doing, sit the hell back down. Okay, he used another choice word, but I'm not gonna.
We can say dirty words.
I'm not gonna elaborate on that
all
one.
of those with things.
Like, just sit the F back down and listen, because we have paid our dues and we are doing our thing, and we are paying our mortgage through music, and we are paying our kids' school through music, and we have done the work. So if you don't know what you're doing when you get up here at this jam, sit yourself back down and wait.
Y'all see the outfit? Show wait, stand up and show the fit, y'all. Y'all got it. She is sharp, like always representing the cuteness. Like she brings it. When I see, I'm telling you, she always put together. I love it. And who is this?
This is Grant Boulevard, local Black-owned, woman-owned business. They have a retail store, 36 in Lancaster.
Yes, say one, Grant Boulevard.
Grant Boulevard, at Grant, BLVD, Grant Boulevard.
Yes, so she represents you guys.
So Love Soldier, basically I threw down Love Soldier at that jam, and I went up right after his speech, my first performance back in Philly, and I'm like, okay. But by the end we had everybody singing the hook.
I love it.
So I was like,
awesome story. Okay, you guys, you are tuned in to Sadior Radio, and I am your host, Divine Styles. This is my guest for tonight, Gretchen Elise. She is here promoting and showing us love. We are here the second and fourth Friday of every month on Sadior Radio between 6 and 7. Almost forgot, child. I'm busy. So, Gretchen, next thing I want to know about is this props you got. What's up?
oh yeah. So the last piece to your question before about the album's release, I did release a single called Wawa. So that is also available on Spotify.
I like that one too. It's real cute.
Yeah, we got really close to licensing it. That was also like written by accident. I have a lot of songs that I just kind of come up with by accident, and then they have a little. One of my producers told me you have a way with a hook.
Me do.
So when you hear something and then you keep hearing it, then you know it's worth pursuing.
Yeah, I like the Wawa. I like the Wawa one too. You guys gotta get her album. She has some amazing songs on there that'll keep you dancing. Really groove, like real chill music, have you bobbing your head. So definitely check her out. Like she said, she's on all streaming platforms. But
Gretchen Elise, let me spell it. There was this because it might be tricky. It's G-R, I can sing it. GRETCHENELISE.
I'm glad I spelled it right on the flyer.
You did.
I did.
It's not easy.
Right? I just said Elise. It gotta sound like it's spelled. So I just went for it. I didn't even check with her. I just put the flyer out. She's like, oh, you did it already? I was like, I'm waiting. I just
Moms.
That's right. We don't have time to be waiting around, guys. Mother of 3, mother of 2, white, musician, what else?
Teacher, connector, nonprofit leader.
Look at, see, y'all, superwoman is what we are.
We are.
Superwoman.
We multitask.
So big up to all the moms and teachers out there doing it like we do. multitasking, wearing all those zillion hats that we wear. Big ups to y'all. Much love, much appreciation. So I want to check out these props.
So I recently kind of became engaged with this prop because I wore an outfit.
You do be wearing them outfits.
I think it was the Bayou.
That
the yellow
lime green.
Yeah,
I want that.
So
it's
a mom at the school that my children went to for elementary school, where I was very active in the community, and I felt very blessed to really get to know people. I really build lifelong relationships in West Philly.
That's why I'm from bottom chick. I'm from down the bottom.
It's
38th and Reno.
It's all one. It's all, Mantua, West Powelton.
Mantua. I went to Mortimer McMichael Elementary School.
There you go.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so down the street is Powell.
University City High School.
City. Oh man, people still grieve that loss. But we know we're not gonna go down that route.
Don't go down that road.
So my first CD. So I went to that poetry session, wearing a sweatshirt from a series of fashion items that is on sale through Girlfriend Trend Boutique.
Girlfriend
Trend Boutique. Which
y'all
is
writing these down? I need you to write.
Let's do it again.
Girlfriend Trend Boutique.
It's run by a mom that I know from Powell, and girlfriend of hers.
Awesome.
So, and then I realized, it totally matches my guy. And my guy, so I did a little Instagram post on it. So yes, when you go to Gretchen Elise Music, you'll find it easily. Just look for something lime green. So basically,
he is a good looking guy.
Yeah, it's a little scary when you look at him from behind.
Oh, we don't want to look at him from behind.
But that's just part of the art.
Yes.
So my first job when I moved back to Philly was leading an arts education program trying to get more arts in Philly schools called the Picasso Project. And we'll go back around to that when we talk about the thank you track, which was released this morning. So
thank you track was released.
This nonprofit, I used to hang around, I used to hang around late sometimes, and I would hang with one of the staff, the cleaning staff, that his name was Arturo Galindo from Colombia, and we would talk about my CD, talk music, because it has a lot of Latin influence. My first CD especially is a lot of instrumental solos. It's kind of a really jazzy, it's still fusion, but it's more acoustic kind of solos feel than my second one. We were trying to kind of make it a little more commercial. So there's 2 Brazilian percussionists on the CD, and it's nice. And if you have that kind of Latin pop, Latin jazz sensibility, you're gonna really like it. So we used to jam, just exchange thoughts, and then one day he came in with this award.
Awesome.
And he called it says to Gretchen Elise Everson, are you ready? From Arturo Galindo. Like just like that. Like just
that is
and I was like, who needs a Grammy? I have a custom award.
Awesome.
I didn't have to go lobby for, like apparently you do for the Grammys. You have to do a whole like campaign.
Yeah, it's a whole song and dance and kiss some asses and shake some hands and kiss some babies, all that shit you do when you're trying to be mayor.
So this was for the Are You Ready, which was my first wasn't my first recording, but it was my first original release under my name as an artist.
Awesome.
So that's my prop. I don't have, and then recently I decided as opposed to Grammy, I would call it a Gretchen, since it is.
I like that. Gretchen. You got a Gretchen. Now I want a Gretchen. How do I get a Gretchen? We'll figure it out later after the show.
Yeah.
We'll work on getting that Gretchen. What's the guy's name? Will be that?
Arturo Galindo, and I looked for him on social media. I can't find him. So maybe someday we'll reconnect.
Yeah, you know that's how the world works. It kind of goes in a cycle of 360. So this is a game I want to play with you.
Oh,
Okay. So I'm only gonna do this with my lady guests. I could do it with the guys, I guess too. So I want you to grab your purse.
okay.
Okay, pull out 2 things in your purse that you cannot live without. And I want to know why you cannot live without them.
Wow.
Yes, we have women have so much stuff, especially if you got kids, you got a lot of extra stuff in your purse.
Okay,
So,
look what's in my purse.
her album, bam.
Because nobody
You
is-
always selling, you always
Yes.
there to sell. That's what we do.
Nobody
Always.
is distributing DIY music. You distribute your own DIY music, so you better have it in your backpack
What
in
she
your
said,
purse.
y'all heard her.
At all times. Okay, that's
So
my
she
number one.
cannot live without her album because mama's gotta make some money.
Wow, I'm trying to be 50 here.
Come on.
I don't know, my shades, they usually go on in here.
All right, let's see the shade. Bam. So those are her 2 things. So why can't you live without these particular shades?
I don't
Oh,
know.
they look cute on you.
They just make me feel good.
That's important though. Feeling good is, if you feel good, then regardless of what you're wearing or how everybody else, then you the shit, period. It's all about their confidence. If they make you feel good,
I'm not one of those musicians that's in a dark club wearing dark shades. That I never really got. Maybe somebody will comment on,
Yes,
if they're one
somebody.
of those musicians that are watching that do that. Like, tell
Well,
us what that's about.
You know what, sometimes if I go to a show or I have on dark glasses, like in a dark space, it's usually because I have a headache and migraines are really a thing.
Mhm.
So I wear dark shades because your eyes are sensitive to the light.
Yes,
Or
yes, exactly.
I'm high. Those are my 2 reasons I wear dark shades in a dark room. I don't know about that yet. So.
Okay, well, that's a clue.
Okay, so that's a game I played with everybody. So
Yeah,
so you have your sunglasses and your album, and they're really 2 good things that you should have in your purse. I always have sunglasses, but I walk around with a backpack.
Can I show off my purse
Yes.
while we're at it?
Who made the purse?
Because it's John Pluvok, who doesn't really need hyping per se, because it's a pretty major brand, but they, I have some green boots with this little yellow piping, and my husband bought me this to match. which
Yay,
was
hubby.
styling,
Thank you,
nice
hubby.
move. Right when I came out with my first CD, because it was also a fashion show, I have this thing about events where I seem to, by nature, weave different elements together always.
I do too.
So, that both of my CD releases have been fashion shows as well, and John Pluvog, who most people will probably be familiar with that brand, it's based in Canada through Black Eyed Peas, because they wore a lot of their shoes.
Oh,
So they
okay.
sponsored my first CD release.
That is dope.
Yeah, my friend Ivy, who did this fashion, hooked that up.
Yes, and I love that shirt and the skirt. You can't see the skirt, but it got like these holes
Cutouts.
in it. Oh man, it is gorgeous.
So like, I'm not a brand ambassador or anything, but I just like to give love where it's deserved.
Of course, as you should. Like I said, I feel like that's what it should be about.
Speaking of giving love, how about this setting? This exquisite mansion? With
That
this
is all love to
backdrop?
the engineer and
How
the
about this?
CEO
How
of
about
Sadior
this-
Radio,
This
Mark.
spread?
Oh, that's the, I mix things together. I'm a caterer, so I always feel like I have to. Mark is like, oh, you just come in here being fancy. I gotta make my guests feel at home, and food is something that's a part of me and how I show my love and appreciation for people. I cook for them. I make food for them. So every time I have a guest on, I want them to feel special. That's why I ask you, what kind of wine do you drink? I want to have things that
I really appreciate
enjoy.
that.
I'm glad you do. Like I have my wine and then I got your wine. So you can take the bottle home with you, girl. It was just for you. I didn't get it for anybody else. So I like.
Can we say cheers, please?
So You ain't got to ask me twice.
Okay, do we, you wanna say it in like, can I say it in a couple
Yes,
different ways? Okay.
Yeah.
So my dad's native language is, Prost.
Prost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prosit.
Oh,
Actually,
Prosit.
and then German is Prost.
Prost.
Spanish we have what? Salud.
Salud.
What else we got?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Shit. That's always a good. I will cheers to anything. Okay. So let's get into this song. Thank you. Did you send me thank you?
Yes,
All right.
I did.
So you keep chatting it up and I will find it because you guys gotta hear this. This is an awesome, oh yeah. So let's listen to thank you. Here we go.
Released this morning.
Released this morning.
Six a.m. Yeah, nah, I'm just gonna dance a little bit.
Go Gretchen, go Gretchen.
It's a serenade for the time you came as you advocate the whole day through.
I'm ready, we gotta do this.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just gonna dance now.
Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Yeah, sing the song. Come on, sing it.
Accepting, committed to excellence, collaborator, organized.
That's not me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Right now, I guess.
Thoughtful, inclusive, attentive, optimistic, more fun and sincere.
Oh.
Year after year. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank me? Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, that was I love this. Okay, so we're gonna talk about what that song is about. But for those who are just tuning in, we are listening to this and watching this on Sadior Radio. Go to your app store and download the app. If you haven't, Facebook, Instagram. Come on and download the app, Sadior Radio, SADIOR Radio. And I'm here the second and fourth Friday of every month with a new amazing guest. My name is Divine Styles, and my guest today is Gretchen Elise. I gotta give you this thing, Gretchen. And me single was just released this morning. Thank you. That's what we just got finished listening to. And what was the motive or the spirit or the thought behind this song?
When I left my 2 jobs ago, which I spoke about, the arts education project called Picasso Project, my nonprofit that I work for gave me an amazing send-off at World Cafe Live. I was moving on.
I love World Cafe Live.
I was moving on to try to merge my children, my family life, and my work, and still have time for music. So I moved on to the nursery school where my children were at. So I could teach there, I could work there in admin, I combined it all, teach some music, do some development, leadership,
and still have
and have my kids there, and
Yes.
still be able to do my parents have to somehow make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a creative drive and a creative passion, it is essential for your mental health,
Yes.
or your physical health, to do your thing. And so we have to get crafty to figure out how to fit it in. It is so
Exactly.
vital.
Like after this show, I'm off to the races to go pick up my son from their dad. Like the last guest I had on, King Shice, he had his son dropped off here in the middle of our session. Like we have to
Right.
figure out a way to
My mom is shout out mom,
shout out mom.
covering me right now, driving my daughter to Delco
Okay.
for for Sonia's gymnastics. So anyway,
Awesome.
so I felt an obligation when a couple directors later, Tim Gibbon was actually laid off. And I felt like that is not the appropriate send off. This man needs to be celebrated. He's award winning. He got a national award from National Art Educator Association, and he did a great job. I think I was in like 100 Philly schools, so he was probably at least in 75 over the years that he was working there, 50 to 75. Bringing great arts projects, supporting teaching artists and innovative teachers, doing some cool stuff. And all types of art genres, digital arts, performing arts, literary arts. So I'm in a small group, still volunteering for that project and now working as a teaching artist for that project.
Awesome.
And as we kind of launch into a new era, a new phase. And we were on a Zoom trying to discuss, well, what can we do to celebrate Tim? And I was like, well, maybe I could write a song. Like, no, I'm too overcommitted right now. I can't write. I'm always saying yes and coming up with ideas, and then you come up with an idea, you better back it up, right?
Yeah.
But like, I can't commit to that right now. And I got off the Zoom and in 10 minutes I had a song, boom. And I decided to reach out to all of the staff and people that had worked with him and gather descriptions and words. So a lot of the song is the words from colleagues and fellow artists. He's also a great musician, goes under La Palma. You can find that on all social media. Great, interesting music. And a lot of it is kind of nouveau 80s or has a little kind of indie feel to it. So that was in my mind as I wrote the song.
Okay.
The feel of the song. It's different from a lot of my other music. I would say it doesn't really fall into jazz. It doesn't really fall into like alt soul or anything. It's a little dancey. It's kind of like,
it is.
like new wave meets The Weeknd. The Weeknd has all this 80s stuff out right now, right?
It does, yeah.
And at least in my head. So
Yeah,
the way I hear
does.
my own music may be different than how others hear my music.
That is true.
Well, how would you describe the song? Like
Well,
genre wise?
I think it's very like new age. I like that it's like more uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
So like it kind of reminds me of what's that song? What's the song? It's a song by India Ari. And not the average girl from the hood. It reminds me of that. It reminds me of that.
Ooh,
Like it's
she
really
can sing too. Okay.
So that's what it reminds me of. Like it's really like positive. It like gives me that uplifting, upbeat. That's what it reminds me of.
So basically, I collated the words, weaved them in, which I guess is very characteristic for my style of performance as well, which you witnessed now a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I do everything like everybody either has an instrument or some lyric.
Or we're clapping our hands,
or
helping to make a beat. Like she's really like,
people coming up to the stage with me or whatever. That interactive factor is what I really thrive on. So I think it's the first time that I used that compositionally to create a tune. And then we did it on Zoom. I wrote the core of it on Logic, which is something I'm trying to learn. It's music composition software. And it's a steep learning curve, but I'm kind of at the basic level.
gotta start somewhere, Gretchen.
And then I worked together with an incredible bassist, Kevin Arthur, and he kind of finessed it, added a couple little really essential details, like that, like some bouncy stuff and a lot of effects and just kind of completed the track. And we just really did it for this internal purpose for this Zoom party to celebrate this arts educator. And after that was done, I was like, that track just kind of makes me want to dance.
Yes, it does.
It kind of just feels good. Like,
It really
I should
does
shoot a
feel
video.
good.
You know,
Does feel good.
I should shoot a video. So I called a director that I had been wanting to work with for a long time that I met through Authentic, which is Meech Hill. He works at Supreme Cinemas, his business, at the Dare Academy in Camden. That's where their current location is being built out to do kind of all multi-service opportunities for artists, video and music production and so on. I called Meech and I was like, hey, we didn't get that grant we applied for, but what about this? You wanna do this thing? What if I go to people's houses and in Philly that I really like, in West Philly, and just give them flowers to thank them?
Oh.
Sort of took it to the next iteration beyond that context with Tim to bring it to kind of more universal
Exactly.
type of situation. So I put it up on Facebook and a bunch of people hit me back, like the name of Brian Williams, yes, Christian McBride's mother, and the Carol Faulkner, and my friend Mara, who's an artist, Mara Hinscher, and Nadina. A lot of people said, yeah, come go, Leo Gadsden, and I Collective, Ned Fabel. So some of them ended up being able to be available literally the next day. Like, I'm coming by with flowers.
You
Are you
there?
We did it from start conception to finish in 48 hours. We just filmed one day. And we went around to West Philly, people that I know that have been supportive of my music and of the community in general. And I got the opportunity to give them flowers. And some of them that couldn't make the shoot because they were at a funeral or at work, or I was able to deliver flowers afterwards. So I've been trying to feature kind of the main characters on my Instagram and social media in general. My husband has made this amazing kind of graphics with thank you, Gretchen, Elise, for the people that are in the video. Mags FM, who is a producer, DJ, creative content inventor, helped scheme with me to figure out the kind of the campaign, how to release it. And now it's out.
I'm excited. Like, I love the song. It is so amazing. And you will be performing the song at Calabash.
Yes.
Give that info.
So, like I said, I kind of interweave things. So I've been going to Calabash a lot on Monday nights. Boogie Mandela hosts an open mic that's produced by Stereotype Sound Sessions. And I've just found it a really welcoming space. Like, I go, like Soul Garden was like that too. I go by myself and walk away feeling like family.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, it's it's addictive, that feeling. And I'm the type of person that goes to places by myself. Not, because people don't want to go with me. I usually don't invite me. I just get it in my head like, oh, this event is coming up. I'm just gonna go. And I like talking to people and making new friends. And it's just the energy when it comes to like certain creative spaces, poets and musicians, and like being around those people who have that collective of that good energy and spirit. It's just like, you walk away like, I don't really know this person. I don't even know their last name, but like, I want to hug them.
Yes.
Like, that's what I love, that feeling. Like, it's
really,
addictive.
it's healing.
It is, yes, and you need it. Like, Thursdays, if I'm not at Word Warriors every other Thursday, I'm like, that like sets my week. Like, I need to. And then Sam and his girl Tab, they are awesome because it's like, he works in like the mental health, I guess, area. So he's like consistently talking about mental health and how we need to heal and how we need to talk to each other.
Yes, I remember what he said about disease. Dis-ease.
Yes.
And how mind and body are connected.
Yes, like the gems, and I be picking them gems up. Like I told you, I would pick them up and put them in my pocket. Like it's important for our mental health, especially since we wear so many hats as women, as men, just as people trying to get life done. Like life be out here lifing, and we need to get stuff done. So having something that takes away that dis-ease and helps you cope better. Like, we all need to release. You can't keep your stress and your problems and your issues bottled up.
I really found that about poetry in particular. I only started writing poetry last year when my producer for the Wild Bot track and bass player, may he rest in peace and be thriving where he is now, Doug Grigsby. I really had only written songs before. And all of a sudden I was just dealing with this deep grief, as many were dealing with, because he touched many, many, many hearts. He used to be musical director for Tina Marie. That was kind of like his probably most well known, but I mean, if you just Google him, you'll see he's on every major R&B hip hop release for decades.
What's his name?
Doug Grigsby.
Doug
Grigsby. So yeah, when he passed, I just really started needing to write, and it didn't come out as songs necessarily. I did do one poem that became a song that I released on WHYY last year. That's on my YouTube page. Birds Still Sing, but mostly it's just poetry. And I think there's and so I feel like a newbie. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. It's just letting it out.
No, because I've been writing poetry. Like, when I started writing poetry, I was 13. I had really bad ulcers in my stomach, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Since we're friends, I'm going to share this with you guys and Gretchen. So I used to get really bad pains in my stomach, like really, really bad, like to the point where I couldn't stand up straight, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I went to doctors and doctors and doctors, and everybody was like, what? We don't know. You have ulcers. What do you have ulcers from? Why is this wrong with you? And one of the doctors finally was like, you need to go to therapy. Like, you need to figure out what it is that you're bottling up. It's mentally causing you physical pain. And my therapist was like, you need to start journaling. So my journaling turned into poetry. So I've been writing poetry since I was like 13 years old. And it's always been my way of coping with the hardships in my life, coping with my divorce, coping with depression, coping with relationships. Every time I get out of a relationship, I write a poem, I spill that shit on the paper. Sometimes I ball it up and throw it away. Sometimes it turns into something that I have to let out and let other people hear, because your pain and your hurt can heal other people.
Yeah, what I'm finding is that is an important step. Like, one is the therapeutic step of releasing it for yourself, but bringing it out into the public is another part of the healing process, because you're not just expressing yourself, you're kind of creating something that now is art that belongs to the community. Exactly. And that brings you a step further in whatever you're trying to release. It's essential.
Yeah, and I just did one of my pieces about my ex, who was, I was in a physically abusive relationship for 6 years. And I read it for the first time, like out in public to people at Voices in Power. Shout out to Lewis, Voices in Power. Every second Saturday on 9th and Market at the Rec Philly. Awesome place. Ever been to the Rec? No. You gotta get tickets to Voices in Power. The April 2nd is their 11-year anniversary.
I see them going online on
because I be sending her stuff all the time. So
a lot of people are sending.
Yes, April 2nd.
I saw Yogi John the other day.
Oh yes, he was at Word Warriors Thursday, and I performed. But I was like, I'm not going on after him. I had to go on before him, because he melts my life. I can't, not with Yogi. But anyway, so after I performed the piece, it's called Resentment. I had like 3 young ladies walk up to me. One of them was in tears, like bawling, like, oh my God, I went through the same thing. Your poem helped me. Like, I had to pull her into one of the rooms, and she was crying on my shoulder, and I was so grateful that I could touch somebody like that. And it was just like, she was like, I'm going through healing also, and your poem just really helped me. I said, girl, you gotta write it down. You gotta get it out. And she was like, even though my situation is 10 years old, what you were saying brought all the feelings and emotions back up. And that's what words, poetry does that. Like, it's just awesome. So being able to heal
it's striking. I've spent a lot of time at the Harvest, shout out Spoken Soul 215. But I kind of went for the band, you know? Like I liked spoken word at the time, but I was like, yeah, I'm really going so I could jam and throw something down. But something about throwing something new down with a live session. I'm blessed to have my own band.
Yes, you
know,
are.
for 20 years now, basically since this CD in some form or other. But there's something kind of spontaneous about it. But it's funny because I never felt drawn to poetry per se at that time. I enjoyed it, listening, some of it I did, some of it I didn't, but now I'm like all ears.
That's awesome. I'm so glad too. Like, I'm so glad that we met.
I am
Like,
too.
I feel like
Is it time for a hug, on-screen hug? Let's go!
so emotional. Like, I feel like we, like, the spirit between us and it's like a kinship, like from that, like that moment when you was with that, I don't know who that lady you was with, but this, like, who is that?
Oh, Nadina, shout out to
Nadina,
yeah.
yes, shout out to Nadina.
She read the first thing she'd ever read at that Soul Garden reading with hieroglyphics, hieroglyphics.
Hieroglyphics, yes, shout out to Sean.
And that was a poem from another grandma that I know from Powell, who was an amazing poet who passed last year, Rebecca Stone. I'm like kind of worshiping at the altar of her poems currently because they're all different. The syntax is different and they're visually different and the flow is different. And that's what I'm saying. I feel like a beginner. My poems just kind of flow. It's like a stream of consciousness, but this stuff is like haiku and it's in groupings and it's staccato and it's I mean,
and she probably says them different, like, and poetry changes with the reverb and the tone of your voice, the way you use your cadence. It can mean so many different things. One of my favorite poets, I know she's so sick of me saying her name, but Lady Sarcasm, I gotta teach you her book. It's called Dear Lost Joan. Awesome.
There's
awesome,
so many talented poets here in Philly.
Yes,
like that's where I'm starting.
Don't sleep on Philly. Like Philly got fire, y'all.
Philly got fire. I'm starting with there's such a wealth of
super talented people.
I just bought and I was able to meet her before she passed, Sandra Turner Barnes, and I just wrote something in her, you know, like referencing her, sampling her basically. In a recent poem that I read.
Yeah.
Soul Garden.
Philly is a melting pot of amazing artists.
So the event, a conversation about.
Yeah, let's wait. I'm sorry, we girlfriends, so we be just rambling. Don't pay us. Calabash. Okay. Let's give them the dates for that first.
March 31st. Excuse me. My birthday is March 28th. Yes, I do know my own birthday, but I think the Sauvignon Blanc is going to my head.
Chardonnay for her.
Next Monday, March 28th, Calabash, which is at 6208 Lancaster Ave, right kind of at the end of Lancaster Ave, right before you run into City Line. It's like the west edge of West Philly, Overbrook, pretty much. And it's the entrance is actually from Malvern Ave, right across from the trolley turnstile, the 10 trolley. Okay. Come on, set to people, you know, there's a way to get there, even if you don't have wheels. You could take the 10 trolley. So doors open at 7. What it is called Open Vibe Philly. It's an event produced by Stereotype Sound Sessions. And the host is just a positive, amazing talent of an MC, little Caribbean flavor to his flow. Boogie Man Della. You can find him on social media. He's the host, and it's an open mic.
Yes, that's what I was about to add.
So come early so you can sign up for the open mic. The doors are at 7. There is a menu. There is a bar. However, it is all ages, so you can bring your child. That's up to you, but
I
I'm
plan
just
on
saying,
drinking. I'm coming from work. I plan on drinking.
I'm bringing my one child who is in the video, who's
Oh, the
in the
daughter,
opening-
right?
the
Okay.
opening
She's
scene of my-
beautiful.
professional little performer. So anyway, that's the situation. There is food, there is drink, there is open mic, there is a beautiful stage. Some people are doing instrumentals, they do have a drum kit. There's not gonna be a session band tomorrow. It's tracks, but you can bring 2 tracks, or you can go a cappella, or you can ad lib. I'm bringing a percussionist, doing my tracks, and everybody who's watching is certainly gonna participate. So I'm doing a feature performance, and we will be screening the video on a large screen. And that's probably gonna happen around 9.
Okay.
So just
And
in terms of
that
the time frame, if you wanna get into the open mic, I was just coming early between 7 and 8 and get your name on the list, cause it's gonna be popping.
It's gonna be
And
popping.
it's an Aries birthday party, since it's my birthday on that day. Boogie Mandela also has an Aries birthday. I
Come
met
on out, Aries, this is.
I met a woman named Nicola last week in the West Philly Y hot tub, and we found out we had the same birthday, so she's bringing her birthday people, so it's
Yes,
basically.
it's a party.
It's basically like a whole Aries fest. I have cake ordered, and it's just gonna be
I'm there.
a good vibe.
Cake and
And
alcohol, I'm there.
it's gonna be the type of thing where you're tired and it's a Monday, but you're gonna be really happy that you went, and it's gonna really kick off your week in a great way.
Make sure I take my B12.
I'm gonna kind of sing like an overview from my repertoire, you know, a little bit from the past, a little bit from the present, the new tune, maybe a little bit from the future, something raw that's just information. We'll see. It's gonna be really fun.
Okay,
And
cause
I'm gonna be rocking, I think I'm gonna be rocking something for my collective, Simply Nefa. That
I
is a
definitely gotta get
designer.
your information for the sweatsuit that you had on the last time I seen with the army fatigue pants. Like
Girlfriend.
she throws it together.
Girlfriend Trend Boutique. But the
Girlfriend
video,
Trend.
which is out now, if you Google Gretchen Elise, thank you, you will find it. Or if you go to GretchenElise.com, you will find it. Or if basically if you Google thank you or hashtag thank you vid, hashtag thank you track, you'll probably find it.
Yes.
We filmed part of the video at One Art Community Center, which is led by a friend of mine, Malika. And they opened a retail store recently, Malika and Nefa Bell, who's a designer and has designed, since Ivy from this John moved to LA, I've worn a lot of designs from Simply Nefa.
Okay.
And that's
I'm gonna
why
get all this information and I'm gonna tag. I mean, I'm gonna put it on my Instagram and my Facebook, all these names of these businesses, local businesses, designers and everything. I'm gonna put it all on my page so people can, you know, look these people up.
Yes.
Because this is important, enterprising and supporting local businesses.
absolutely, in particular, Black-owned, women-owned businesses.
That's why I get my website too. Black-owned business, Naked Peach.
So, yeah, so I and a collective just opened recently, I think in the last 6 months, and I've always had a great connection with Nefa and worn her designs and loved her designs, and so we filmed part of the video at her actual retail store.
Awesome. I know me and Gretchen could talk forever, but we are coming up on that 7 o'clock hour and the show said it has to end by. But I will be back with another awesome, amazing guest on what day will I be back? I don't remember. On the 8th of April, I'll be back with another awesome, amazing guest. And we will see you guys then. Once again, this is Sadior Radio, and I am Divine Styles, and my guest for today was Gretchen Elise. Please look her up. Give your tag one more time. At
Gretchen Elise Music, GretchenElise. Shout out to Matthew, actually, he's the one that gave me the idea to put that into song. And you can find me at GretchenElise.com.
All right, guys. We will catch you on the flip side. Peace, blessings, and prosperity to you all. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in to Sadior Radio. Bye, guys.